The Leviathan Box is a great way to get into the hobby or fill out your current collection. It gives you almost everything you need to get started, but it leaves you with a big problem. How are you going to transport or store your newly constructed minis? What if I told you you could use the box it came in to store everything you need to play a game? Miniatures, tape measure, unit index cards, mission objectives, tokens, dice, and more. Karl Franz built the Warhammer Old World Empire with faith, steel, and gunpowder. All you need to build your perfect Leviathan carrying case are magnets, steel, and glue. And the box it came in. You're going to want to magnetize the bases of your minis. In addition to storage and travel, they'll make painting easier. The minis will stick to old baking sheets for easy batch spray painting. Old cans or mason jars can become grip stands for the minis. The mason jars are cheap or free if you use leftover food cans, which you'd normally just throw in the recycling. I've found I like to use mason jars with water filled in them since it gives some weight to the stand, making them harder to tip over. I also spent a little bit of money to get the spice rack mason jars since they're a little smaller for the smaller pieces, easier to grip. These jar grip bases make batch painting much easier, as you don't have to work with a single or handful of expensive tension grip stands from Citadel like this one. Instead, you can put your whole squad on a couple of different jars and just work on them one color at a time for maximum speed painting. I ordered my magnets from Amazon. They are 3 millimeters wide by 1 millimeter tall, so I make little stacks of 3, and I would use 2 of these stacks even for the smaller bases. For the bigger guys, I could use up to 10 of these magnet stacks like the Dreadnought or the Carnifex. Steel. So, once the magnets have been attached to the bases of your minis, you need something to stick them to. Something that isn't your fridge if you want it to be portable. I've tried the roll-out magnet sheets in the past, but the hold wasn't strong. Magnets like thick steel. Those same minis don't budge when on a steel sheet. I got the thinnest gauge steel I could find from Home Depot. It was 12 by 18 inch 26 gauge steel sheet. This was still pretty thick and difficult to cut with the sheet metal snips I got, but the sheet metal is cheap and available. You can find it pretty much at any hardware store, so if you're willing to put in the elbow grease, you have a lifetime supply of cheap basing material for your magnetized minis. Once I measured the kind of 3 sections here in this base cutout, it was a matter of cutting the sheets for these 3 guys. I'll put the measurements in the description below. And this fit pretty much everything, but the Carnifex was too tall and couldn't stand up in the bottom of the base without his arms poking out and hitting the top. So he had to go in the side like so. So then I just cut out a little piece for him that he stands on. And with that, I was able to get everything into the box, and we can have the perfect carrying case with our final ingredient, glue. I used super glue for the mini bases, and I used Gorilla Glue for attaching the steel to the cardboard sheets. You'll want to glue the magnets to the base before attaching the miniature. This way, the base lies flat and lets the magnets dry on there. Otherwise, you'll need to assemble a contraption, like with a cardboard box, to place the minis upside down while the glue dries. The glue you use here can be super glue. though smarter and more experienced content creators like Goobertown Hobbies recommend using an epoxy glue. I used a technique I learned from CC Minis. Small dabs on the base, get your magnets into position, wait for them to dry, then encase those magnets in more super glue. My hope is with the smaller magnets that the super glue will be able to hold them. My workflow was to glue the magnets on the base for the squad that I was working on, set up those magnetized bases, assemble the squad, and then triumph post them on the fridge every time I finished to give myself motivation for the next squad. And I was able to crank out this box in record time, having the victory of one squad at a time displayed on the fridge. Once all the minis were magnetized, it was a matter of using the Gorilla Glue to attach the steel to the cardboard. Again, you could probably use a 2-part epoxy glue for attaching the metal to cardboard or plastics, but I use Gorilla Glue because that's what I have on hand. The other kind of trick I did is I would apply the glue to the back of the steel, set that on the cardboard, and then I'd get a big stack of books and lay it on top and just squish and press down the steel because it can get warped a little bit as it gets cut. And with that, I'd have a nice flattened sheet here that the minis could stick to. And with all of that done, you've got a perfect carrying case for your Leviathan Box minis. You can take it with you to play with your friends, or take it to your local hobbies store, or just to save some space so you can buy the next box set and not have it overflowing the house. Thank you so much for watching this. If you want to learn more, check out CC Mini's video in the link below, or Goobertown Hobbies. He's pretty much a master class on magnetizing minis. Please let me know if there's more content you want to see around Warhammer minis, whether it's painting, or magnetizing them more, getting into depth and the cutting, gluing, etc. Or if you actually want to see me play the game, see some battle reports of Combat Patrol. Thank you so much and have a great day.